Welcome to District Command Central, your go-to source for the latest news and updates on the Washington Commanders. Don't forget to hit that subscribe button and ring the bell so you never miss a play. The saga surrounding Terry McLaurin and the Washington Commanders has been one of the most closely watched stories of the NFL offseason, and now it appears to be moving toward resolution in a way that has fans buzzing with anticipation. McLaurin, who missed training camp and every preseason game due to a high-stakes contract dispute, is now under a brand-new $96 million deal that secures his future with Washington. This contract not only represents a significant financial milestone, but also demonstrates the team's commitment to a player who has consistently proven his value on the field. Despite the absence from practices and preseason action, McLaurin is reportedly pushing himself harder than ever to ensure he can contribute right away. Head coach Dan Quinn has publicly stated that McLaurin absolutely has enough time to be ready for Week 1, signaling that the team views him as an integral part of the game plan against the New York Giants. The narrative here is not just about money or negotiation tactics. It's about trust, preparation, and the high-pressure environment that elite athletes must navigate to maintain peak performance. General Manager Adam Peters has been transparent about the situation, acknowledging that both McLaurin and wide receiver Noah Brown are considered day-to-day in terms of their readiness for the regular season opener. Peters avoided committing to whether McLaurin will actually see the field in Week 1, but his demeanor, including a smile and a public apology to Quinn, suggests optimism and a desire to close this chapter positively. The holdout had stretched into training camp, creating tension within the organization, yet Peters was clear in emphasizing that the team's admiration and respect for McLaurin never wavered. This statement is crucial in framing the narrative not as a conflict, but as a negotiation resolved without damaging the player-coach relationship. It also highlights the delicate balance NFL teams must strike between enforcing rules, handling fines, and maintaining morale among their star athletes, especially when those athletes are pivotal to the team's success on the field. The messaging from both Peters and Quinn reflects a strategic attempt to reassure fans and teammates alike that McLaurin remains a cornerstone of Washington's offensive plans. McLaurin's return to practice marks a significant turning point in this saga, especially considering he spent 2 weeks on the physically unable to perform list with an ankle injury. His first practice in August indicates that he is actively integrating back into team routines and regaining the rhythm that has made him a 5-time 1,000-yard receiver. Coach Quinn's praise, calling McLaurin a rare competitor, underscores the player's intensity and professionalism despite the contentious offseason. This type of competitive mindset is exactly what teams rely on in high-pressure situations, particularly in season openers where the stakes are immediately high. With the Commanders facing the Giants, McLaurin's participation could provide a substantial boost to Washington's aerial attack, giving quarterback Sam Howell a trusted target who can influence coverage schemes and defensive planning. His presence on the field would not only be a tactical advantage, but also a morale boost for teammates who have been waiting to see their star receiver back in action. The financial dimension of McLaurin's new contract also paints a vivid picture of his value and the market dynamics in the NFL. The wide receiver was due to earn $22.8 million in the final season of his previous 3-year extension signed in 2022, but instead he leveraged the offseason to negotiate a more lucrative arrangement. The new deal, averaging $32 million annually, now ties him with Philadelphia Eagles' A.J. Brown as the 6th highest-paid receiver in the league. By comparison, Cincinnati Bengals star Ja'Marr Chase sits at the top with $40.25 million per year. These numbers reflect not only McLaurin's performance on the field, but also his perceived leadership and ability to influence team success. In an era where contract disputes can dominate headlines, the way McLaurin navigated this process demonstrates a calculated approach to maximizing his professional value while still signaling his commitment to Washington. For fans, this contract ensures the continuity of one of the team's most dynamic offensive weapons. The negotiation process itself was intensive and required strategic patience from both sides. McLaurin's decision to remain a non-participant during practices and preseason games put financial pressure on him through fines of $50,000 per day, totaling more than $100,000 by missing the mandatory June minicamp. Yet, The holdout was a clear statement of intent, a demonstration that the receiver understood his worth and was willing to negotiate from a position of strength. Washington, on the other hand, had to balance maintaining team cohesion with honoring a player whose contributions are vital to competitive performance. This type of negotiation is not uncommon in the NFL, but the way McLaurin and the Commanders handled it, culminating in a record-setting contract, illustrates the evolving landscape of player empowerment and the importance of strategic communication between management, coaches, and athletes. The broader implications for Washington's offense are significant, particularly given the timing of McLaurin's return. Missing training camp often leads to concerns about chemistry with the quarterback, timing on routes, and physical readiness. However, Quinn's confidence suggests that the coaching staff has carefully monitored McLaurin's conditioning and is confident he can quickly adapt to the game plan. With his ability to stretch the field and command attention from defenses, McLaurin's presence will likely open opportunities for other receivers and running backs, creating a more dynamic and unpredictable offensive strategy. His return also reinforces the importance of veteran leadership, as younger players observe and emulate his work ethic and commitment to the team, which can set the tone for the season's intensity from Week 1 onward. McLaurin's ankle injury adds another layer to the narrative, highlighting the resilience required to perform at the highest level. Spending 2 weeks on the physically unable to perform list meant he had to focus on rehabilitation while also staying mentally sharp for the upcoming season. This dual challenge of physical recovery and strategic preparation is emblematic of the rigors faced by professional athletes, where even minor setbacks can have outsized impacts on performance and team planning. The coaching staff's decision to ease him back into practice demonstrates a careful approach to risk management, balancing the desire to have him ready for the opener with the need to prevent aggravating the injury. For fans and analysts, watching McLaurin's progress provides insight into how elite players manage adversity while maintaining peak competitiveness. The dynamic between McLaurin and Coach Quinn has been another focal point of discussion throughout this period. Quinn's public praise emphasizes the mutual respect and trust that exists despite the off-season tension. This relationship is critical as it impacts not only McLaurin's integration into the offense, but also the overall culture of the team. A coach-player bond rooted in respect can elevate performance, particularly for a player of McLaurin's caliber who thrives on competition and accountability. The affirmation that McLaurin is a rare competitor serves to reassure fans and teammates that, regardless of contract disputes, his focus remains on excellence and contributing to the team's success. This alignment of personal drive and organizational support is often what separates good teams from championship contenders in the NFL landscape. Financially, the new contract situates McLaurin among the elite wide receivers in the league, reinforcing Washington's willingness to invest in top talent. The $32 million average annual value places him in a competitive tier alongside players like A.J. Brown, while still trailing only a few of the league's highest earners. Such contracts reflect the evolving economics of the NFL, where elite receivers can command enormous salaries based on performance, marketability, and the strategic value they bring to a team's offense. For Washington, this investment is not just about securing McLaurin's services, but also signaling to the league and the fan base that the organization prioritizes winning and values marquee talent. The financial commitment also comes with expectations, making McLaurin's Week 1 readiness not merely a matter of physical performance, but a broader measure of leadership, responsibility, and professionalism. As Week 1 approaches, the anticipation surrounding McLaurin's status has reached a fever pitch. Fans, analysts, and teammates alike are watching closely, aware that his presence or absence could shape the trajectory of Washington's season. While General Manager Peters remains cautiously optimistic and avoids guarantees, the signals from practice reports and coach commentary suggest a high likelihood of participation. This situation creates a compelling narrative. A player who fought for his worth, overcame physical challenges, and now returns with renewed focus to lead his team. The storyline resonates beyond the immediate context of football, illustrating themes of perseverance, negotiation, and the complex interplay between talent, management, and personal ambition. In a league where each season is a high-stakes drama, Terry McLaurin's journey to Week 1 exemplifies the convergence of preparation, talent, and resilience that defines elite NFL competition. McLaurin's return to the fold carries strategic implications that extend across Washington's roster. His ability to command defensive attention will create opportunities for other receivers and offensive weapons, potentially reshaping the team's attack against formidable opponents. The coaching staff can leverage his presence to diversify play calling and exploit matchups, while his leadership sets a standard for professionalism and intensity in practice sessions and games alike. Beyond the tactical considerations, McLaurin embodies the spirit of a team committed to excellence, demonstrating that even after a contentious offseason, focus and preparation can overcome adversity. For fans, the Week 1 matchup against the Giants transforms into more than a game. It becomes a test of resilience, chemistry, and the tangible impact of securing one of the league's elite wide receivers. The excitement and expectations surrounding McLaurin's return reflect both his individual talent and the broader story of Washington's ambitions for the season. Finally, Terry McLaurin's journey from holdout to fully integrated team leader encapsulates the modern NFL experience, where player agency, negotiation savvy, and athletic excellence intersect. His $96 million deal represents not only financial success, but also a statement about his value, professionalism, and competitive drive. The careful management of his practice schedule, recovery from injury, and public relations signals from coaching and management create a narrative of preparation, focus, and strategic execution. As the Commanders approach Week 1, McLaurin's readiness symbolizes more than a single player returning to the field. It represents the culmination of a meticulously managed process that balances risk, reward, and the complex dynamics of team sports at the highest level. Fans can anticipate not only the excitement of seeing him play, but also the lessons in perseverance, leadership, and elite performance that his journey offers. If you're enjoying the coverage, make sure to smash that like button and drop a comment with your thoughts on the Commanders' latest moves. We want to hear from you. Washington has officially shaken the NFL world with a move that has left fans and analysts gasping. Reports are swirling that the team has committed a jaw-dropping $750 million to secure Terry McLaurin through 2030, a deal that could redefine quarterback-wide receiver dynamics for an entire decade. The sheer magnitude of the contract has people questioning how this affects the team's salary cap, long-term strategy, and even the future of their draft plans. Whispers in locker rooms suggest that McLaurin is already seen as the franchise cornerstone, someone around whom everything else pivots. Rumors are now flying that other teams are reconsidering their own extensions, fearing that this deal sets a new benchmark for elite receivers. Fans have taken to social media, some ecstatic, some terrified, and the analysts can't stop speculating whether Washington is overpaying or simply making a historic power play. The city itself is buzzing with anticipation. Sources close to the situation hint that McLaurin's camp has been pushing for a deal of this magnitude for months, perhaps even years, waiting for the perfect moment when leverage, performance, and team desperation aligned. It's suggested that the negotiations were complex, with multiple front offices allegedly circling, attempting to gauge whether Washington would blink under pressure. Inside whispers claim that McLaurin has already made his stance clear. He wants stability, control, and a commitment that reflects his elite talent and market value. Meanwhile, critics of the deal are murmuring about potential pitfalls, pointing out how risky such an astronomical sum could be if injuries or performance dips occur. There's talk of clauses, incentives, and even no-trade provisions that have yet to be fully disclosed, all feeding the rumor mill. This has not just shaken Washington's franchise, but also set the NFL media on fire, sparking debates about fairness, value, and future contracts across the league. Fans on social media are reportedly torn, with threads going viral dissecting every number, every rumored incentive, and every possible cap implication. There's chatter about whether Washington's front office has overextended itself, possibly sacrificing depth in future drafts to make McLaurin the centerpiece. Yet, other voices argue that locking in a player of his caliber is a no-brainer, especially in an era where elite receivers define championships. Rumors indicate that McLaurin's influence in the locker room has grown substantially, with some insiders suggesting he could sway coaching decisions, offensive schemes, and even draft priorities. The speculation extends beyond just football performance. Sources claim that McLaurin's marketability and potential branding deals played a subtle but undeniable role in the negotiations. Everyone from casual fans to seasoned analysts seems to agree on one point. Washington has made a bold statement, signaling they are all in, and the NFL landscape may never look the same again. There are murmurs among commentators that this move could ignite a domino effect, with other teams feeling pressured to lock down their own top talent to similar terms. Sources hint that the league office is quietly monitoring the situation, considering how this could shift the market for star wide receivers and impact competitive balance. Analysts are reportedly dissecting McLaurin's historical stats, injury history, and projected trajectory to assess whether this investment is truly justified or a gamble on potential rather than past performance. Inside whispers suggest that Washington may have also included clauses to protect themselves, but the details remain murky, fueling further speculation. Fans and rival organizations alike are poring over every snippet, every interview, and every Instagram post, searching for hints about how McLaurin feels about the enormous commitment. The rumor mill is relentless, and the story is far from settling, as each day brings new angles and theories about the ramifications of this record-breaking deal. Industry insiders are apparently buzzing about the potential cultural impact within the team, suggesting that McLaurin's contract sends a message about leadership, expectations, and hierarchy in the locker room. Some claim that younger receivers are suddenly feeling the pressure, while others are said to be energized by the opportunity to learn from a player now confirmed as the franchise centerpiece. The speculation even extends to coaching dynamics, with rumors that staff may adjust offensive schemes, roster priorities, and even game-time decision-making to accommodate McLaurin's presence and maximize the team's return on investment. Off the field, sources hint that merchandising, ticket sales, and local sponsorships could see unprecedented growth, making this move not just a football story but a business phenomenon. Analysts are reportedly debating whether this deal sets a new benchmark, potentially redefining how elite players are valued across the NFL, and the chatter isn't slowing down anytime soon. Whispers circulating in betting circles suggest that Washington's odds in the NFC could dramatically shift, with some bookmakers recalibrating playoff predictions based on McLaurin's presence through 2030. There's talk that fans are placing speculative bets on his stats, contract incentives, and even potential Pro Bowl appearances, as everyone attempts to quantify the impact of such a long-term commitment. Rumors indicate that rival teams might start exploring ways to exploit potential weaknesses created by the financial strain of the deal. Off-the-record sources say there's internal chatter about balancing the cap, while keeping other key players motivated, creating a high-stakes chess game that extends far beyond just signing a superstar. In locker rooms, the conversation reportedly revolves around whether Washington's move could spark envy, admiration, or a mixture of both. This bubbling tension adds layers of intrigue, making McLaurin's extension one of the most discussed storylines in recent league history. Speculation among sports journalists is reportedly at a fever pitch, with insider sources suggesting that McLaurin's relationship with the front office has become more influential than previously imagined. Some insiders are hinting that this extension may include unique leadership clauses, rare perks, or even secret incentives tied to performance benchmarks that aren't public yet. The rumor mill suggests that teammates may now view McLaurin as a quasi-coach figure, someone whose opinion could sway offensive strategies and game planning. Meanwhile, sports analysts are supposedly debating whether locking up one player to this magnitude affects team morale, chemistry, or the balance of power. Social media chatter includes theories about potential trade blockers, franchise tag maneuvers, and how rival teams might respond. It's clear that every move Washington makes from here on out will be interpreted through the lens of McLaurin's monumental deal, fueling endless conversation and speculation across the NFL ecosystem. Fans are reportedly dissecting every facet of McLaurin's career trajectory, analyzing past performances, projected improvements, and how his presence may affect quarterback development. Rumors suggest that Washington may have strategically planned this deal to coincide with expected offensive shifts, using McLaurin as the anchor to attract free agents, signal ambition, and secure long-term competitiveness. Insiders hint that this could influence draft strategies, with scouts reportedly prioritizing complementary positions to maximize the value of McLaurin's contract. Meanwhile, whispers from rival teams indicate both envy and strategic recalibration as executives discuss the challenges of competing against a franchise that has committed so heavily to a single superstar. Social media debates are reportedly endless, with fans weighing risk versus reward, historical precedents, and potential championship implications, creating a feverish, rumor-driven frenzy that keeps Washington at the center of football conversation. Behind the scenes, sources allege that McLaurin's camp had quietly gathered leverage over months, orchestrating a timing strategy that allowed for maximum negotiating power. Rumors suggest that multiple teams were ready to swoop in, yet Washington's commitment and willingness to push the boundaries may have clinched the deal. Analysts whisper that the scale of the contract could set a precedent for future star receivers, potentially redefining salary structures and challenging conventional wisdom about player valuation. There's also chatter that internal team culture is shifting, with coaches and management aligning their vision around a player who now embodies both talent and leadership. Fans, commentators, and rivals alike are reportedly scrutinizing every statement, every gesture, and every performance, trying to predict what this unprecedented deal truly signals. The speculation is wild, constant, and impossible to ignore, painting a picture of an NFL landscape in flux. Rumors are also floating that Washington may leverage this deal for marketing and branding dominance, using McLaurin as the face of the franchise in ways that go beyond the field. Insider whispers suggest potential campaigns, endorsements, and community initiatives are being aligned with his extended presence, turning a football contract into a cultural touchstone. Analysts are reportedly debating how this could affect ticket sales, fan engagement, and even regional influence, as securing a superstar for nearly a decade sends a clear message of ambition. There's talk that rival executives are closely watching, some considering countermoves, others quietly wishing for similar leverage with their own top players. Social media speculation continues, blending financial implications, performance metrics, and locker room dynamics into a constant stream of rumor, theory, and debate. Washington has not just made a signing. They have created a narrative, a story that will dominate NFL discourse for years. The conversation in sports media rooms, fan forums, and private circles allegedly revolves around how McLaurin's deal will impact future negotiations across the league. Rumors indicate that other elite receivers could now see this contract as a benchmark, reshaping leverage, expectations, and market dynamics. Analysts reportedly whisper about potential consequences for team-building strategies, balancing star power with depth, and the ripple effects on rookie contracts, trades, and cap management. Inside sources claim coaches are recalibrating offensive schemes, while teammates are reportedly adjusting expectations and roles in anticipation of McLaurin's presence dominating the hierarchy. Fans are engaged like never before, dissecting numbers, timelines, and potential scenarios as social media buzz turns into a near-constant speculation engine. Washington's $750 million commitment isn't just a contract. It's a statement, a spark for conversation, a rumor generator, and a potential catalyst for a decade of intrigue, debates, and excitement in the NFL world. Thanks for tuning into District Command Central. Make sure to subscribe and follow us for all the Commanders news you need. Until next time, keep the faith and hail to the Commanders.